Well, a Turkish newspaper reporting that missing Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi used an Apple Watch that he was wearing to record his alleged murder inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. One of these. CNN cannot verify that report. Now people are asking how one of these records audio and video. Anyway, well, business technology correspondent Samuel Burke joining us now to assess what's going on. And as we try to unpick what is going on in this investigation, walk us through these latest lines, Samuel.
Well, Becky, I think most importantly, we have to know some context. This is a privately owned newspaper, but it is a pro-government newspaper. So the real questions here are, could this be possible? And did, in fact, the journalist have a watch on? Now, we've been told by friends that they understand that he did have an Apple Watch on, and I've been able to go through Twitter and find a photo from May of this year where we actually see Khashoggi with an Apple Watch on. And if I look closely at this photo, I see that there's a little red mark on it. That indicates that this is a third generation watch, which means it does have data capabilities. That means it can send information independently of being connected to an iPhone or not. The problem is, officially, Apple says that they do not have data connectivity for Apple Watches in Turkey. And unlike iPhones, they can't roam. Now, that doesn't mean it's impossible. There are always workarounds. But I think that makes it less likely that this indeed could be the scenario. Now, there's always Bluetooth. You've used an Apple Watch, so you know that they can connect without cellular connectivity back to an iPhone. We've also been told that the fiancé had, at the very least, one of his phones outside the consulate. That's a pretty big distance for something like this to work. Bluetooth really doesn't work outside of about 50 feet usually. So I think there's a pretty high bar here that all of these things would have to work, that the Wi-Fi connection was still going on. Is it possible? Yes, but we see inaccuracies in this report from the Turkish newspaper saying things like the Saudis were able to use the journalist's fingerprint to get into the Apple Watch. Well, Becky, Apple Watch doesn't use fingerprint technology. So certainly we've seen in other cases when there are missing people with